Here we go. We're going to start with an opaque white base. We're going to go over the top of that with opaque black, and we're going to experiment with this gold mica powder. So we got a 2-for-1 today. I'm going to do a 110 weight shift jerk bait, kind of like a Mega Bass 110, and a lipless crankbait, kind of like a rattle trap. What we're going for here is I want to do a golden shiner. Here's the reference image right here of what I'm kind of shooting for. It's not obviously going to be exactly the same, but I kind of want to mimic that pattern, and I've been wanting to experiment with this mica powder and try some different things with it, and this is going to be the first test with it. I'm going to make sure in between every step I do that I dry it really well. That's going to make a real big difference, especially once I get to the mica powder. Over the white base, I'm going to go ahead and lay in black. I'm going to do a completely black back on both of the lures, and I'm going to run that black almost all the way down the bait. The black is going to back the gold and make it stand out a lot more, and if you've seen from the reference image, the golden shiner has a lot of black backing into it and in between the scales, so it's going to be really important that I get a lot of heavy black in there so that gold has something to get carried on. Now that I've got my black basically down to the depth that I want it on the lure, I'm going to go back through and just kind of darken up the backs of each one of them, just making sure they're really heavy and really solid. And most importantly, step 2 after that is making sure they're very dry, very dry, before I get to my next part. And the color I forgot at the very beginning is opaque red. As you can see in the reference, there's red fins and a red tail. So I'm going to go through with this red and just kind of put some red spots in there. I like to put red on my baits whenever I get a chance. Under the chin, red in the hooks. I always try to put a little bit of red in my rubber skirts. I feel like red really attracts fish. I feel like they can see it. I don't know. It always seems to make a difference for me. But basically, I'm just putting a little bit of red on the belly of the jerkbait here, creating red spots for where the fins would typically be. A little red under the chin of the lipless, and I'll do the same with the jerkbait, a little red under there as well. And of course, drying along the way. Especially in this point, I'm about to take this lipless and lay it down. I made a little stencil on a kid's playing card for the shape of the fin. I'm just going to go ahead and blow a little red over that. I think the gold's going to kind of cover over that red a little more than I thought it would, but it's still a little red accent in there where I feel like there should be one in the first place. And on to our experiment. So this mica powder, they use it for a lot of different things, and I know they use it a lot in nail salons to give nails kind of a glitter or mirror kind of gold look. So I'm just gonna kind of dust it on here. I kind of went a little too heavy, and I learned as I went along the way. You'll see when I get to the jerkbait, I went a lot lighter on the mica powder. But with this, I just kind of dusted it in, and then I work it into the paint, kind of rub it into the paint, kind of create a bit of a base for it. And then you can always add a little more if you want it a little flashier. I could have stopped at this point, but it was my first time using it, so I went a little heavier with it, and it wound up being pretty heavy. After you get it going, it sticks in there pretty well. This is just some mica powder I got off of Amazon fairly cheaply, just because I wanted to do some experimenting with the lures and see if I could get it to work for that. So yeah, with this being the first time I've used the mica powder, I was really at this point just playing with it, once I had that base rubbed into the body of the bait, it really just started to build up pretty easily after that point. And it honestly stuck to the red a lot more than I thought it would. It covered it really well. Black is supposed to be the best way to back this and to create a base for it to stick to. And in this case with the golden shiner, that really worked out really well. And it's gold. Now with the 110 jerkbait, I went in a lot lighter. I knew I didn't need as much on my brush. I've kind of experimented. I use the lipless as kind of my experimenting bait. At the end of the day, I really just wanted to do the 110 jerkbait in a golden shiner. But I figured since I was doing the video and experimenting with something new, I thought it'd be kind of cool to do two baits at one time. Plus, I get to show you guys two different baits at one time, so that's pretty cool. And then I took a dry brush and brushed across the back to kind of get some of that off of there. I really wanted a dark back on this, and brushing it off with the dry brush across the top really helped kind of break down the gold and cleared it up and left that back a lot darker than the sides. Again, with the reference, you can kind of see that the golden shiner has a darker back, more gold on the sides, and white on the belly. So the same with the lipless. I took the dry brush and brushed away a lot of that gold and just darkened up that back section along the spine. And on to my favorite part about building baits is putting in the eyes. It kind of brings them to life. On the golden shiners, I am using a gold holographic eye for each bait. Two different size eyes, but they're both a gold holographic rim with a black center because golden shiners have golden eyes. So I got my helping hands folded in to do the eyes on the one side, and then I fold the arms out to hold it so I can get the eyes in on the reverse side. And I try to do them flat. I don't try to ever have my bait at an angle or vertical so the glue doesn't drip down. It really helps to use the gel style super glue. It really keeps it in place. From this point, it was time to dip them in some clear, let them hang dry, and on to the grand finale. Let me show you guys what they look like when they're all done. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like if you did. Don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment if you have any questions about anything I used or did in this video. I'll see you on the next one.